days ago, any audio yet? 2 days ago, I was enjoying myself on the lovely shores of Delaware, Dewey Beach, Delaware. Can you notice the tan?
Yeah, you do.
A little darker, a little darker.
You look healthier.
I look healthier.
Yes, you do. I will say, time away from the office does tend to do that, no matter where you end up.
I just had a lovely time. Hitting in the waves and all that, and just sometimes just taking a nap. They did one day. Actually, it was bad one day. The beach was closed, which was fine. It was a bad weather day, and we went and did some other stuff. Yeah. The other day, it was so rough you could only get up to your knees. But I mean, we were body surfing and boogie boarding on pretty impressive waves.
That's great.
To the point where when I got up every morning, I could tell I wasn't just coming into the office and sitting around. I was beat up.
Is that? Let's see. How would we describe those aches and pains being a parent? Trying to keep up with the kids.
Trying to keep up with the kids and one-up them.
That's right.
I also, what I do, and I've been doing this for years, is I don't know if you knew this, but I can sculpt things out of sand. So I do these. I've done a car before, a race car that you can actually get in and sit there. I've done whales.
You have pictures of this.
We do. We have pictures of all of them. The other day I did a, what's the name of those?
You should enter one of those contests.
I should. I've done castles.
Something.
I do whales. I did the what's it called? The Momor, the whale thing that has the big snout, the long point. It's called an agwam or whatever. Anyway, it's one of those. Anyway, it's
okay.
I do a lot of those kinds of.
That's kind of cool.
Things. So it's fun.
So basically, Dan, you still play in the sand, is what you're telling me.
I do.
Yeah, it's okay.
I do.
And you're comfortable with
why
it.
am I hearing something? I was hearing my name, like the open to our show was running.
Look at the intro.
Oh, okay.
For some reason, it's not coming into Wirecast.
Oh. So.
We might have to go without it.
Okay. Well.
Let's wait. Hang on a second. Is that the thing we just dragged from the?
Yeah, I just dragged it, and it's only giving me 1 second.
And have you actually played the whole video?
Yes, and it's coming up as a question mark, and nothing.
I just heard it though.
It's playing on the computer.
Okay.
Okay.
So. Okay. Yeah. So. It's an MP4 file.
Yes.
MPEG-4. Try to export it as the same kind of. In other words, duplicate that video, and see if that will load. I'm just playing around. Yep. I have no idea. I love it though.
I don't have any idea.
When it comes to audio and video, and the fact that I'm giving suggestions is always kind of scary.
And I'm listening. Yeah, that sounds like it. Export it to the equinox of the fade up of the MP12 file.
Yes.
Yeah, it sounds important though.
Yes, it does.
That's the key. Even if you don't know what you're talking about, make people think you do.
Oh no, that's right. Say something with conviction.
Exactly.
I say that all the time. And I do the thing. It worked, didn't it?
Wow, Jimmy, I'm impressed.
Mr. Techie.
Yes, you begin the show with a lot of praise today, Jimmy. Well, with that, since we've talked ourselves into the show.
We haven't even talked about this. We talked about the show for what, 5 minutes? This ought to be interesting.
Exactly. And anyway, we have our open ready, so hit it, Steve.
You're tuned in to Behind the Media. Dan Lothian and Jimmy Young bring 70 years of award-winning broadcast experience to the table. From newsrooms across the country, behind anchor desks and in the field, they've seen and covered it all. And now they are here to take you behind the media.
You're going to have to embrace technology. If you're an educator...
Oh, I'm embracing it.
I want you to use the phone to help teach these kids.
You don't need to do that. I was covering the president in China, and we did a behind-the-scenes video. This is a gong, or
no, not a gong, a bong.
A bong.
With a B.
So that's right. Did I say
the
gong?
Gong is a
that's
gong
right.
show.
I said gong.
Gong
bong.
makes noise.
Bong.
Okay.
Why is it, Jimmy? Why?
Because sex sells, Dan.
True, but it's only part of the answer. It is. You have to be more creative now to be able to tell a story, and sometimes it's just a before and after picture and saying which one do you want to be. Was this sneaky airplane video a wonderful peek into a budding romance or a creepy invasion of privacy?
How did a reality TV star turn fame into fortune? Are we talking about POTUS? No, we're talking about somebody else. Slapped a little lipstick on and watched those millions come in.
And talking about POTUS, Trump continues his media bashing with CNN's Jim Acosta, and Fox's John Roberts gets heat for not defending his fellow journalist.
And bites behind the media quick hits of some of the other stories everyone's buzzing about, including Megyn Kelly's return to prime time. I am not buzzing about that. And the once high-flying Gawker gets a new owner on the auction block. I have no idea what that is.
You don't know what Gawker is?
Remember I know what a Gawker is.
No, not what a Gawker is. What Gawker is.
Oh, what Gawker. Oh, now I know the story.
The magazine. And remember Hulk Hogan sued them and they went belly up. Once they were high-flying, thriving, went belly up, now bought out.
Now we don't have to do it in the fourth quarter.
We'll talk a little bit about that. Okay, grab some ice from the freezer, ladies and gentlemen. Throw it in a nice tall glass, pour in your favorite beverage, and sit back for 1 hour of infotainment. Welcome to this episode of Behind the Media. I'm Dan Lothian.
And I'm Jimmy Young.
We find the interesting in media so you don't have to go searching around for it. Like us on Facebook, use the hashtag Behind the Media to engage with us on Twitter, and listen on iTunes and the CLNS Media Network. Today's episode is powered by Mack Weldon. It's a premium men's essentials brand. For 20% off your first order, visit mackweldon.com and enter promo code CLNS at checkout. We're also powered by Little Part Media, where ideas come to life, producing corporate videos and podcasts to tell your story. For more, check out littlepartmedia.com or contact info@littlepartmedia.com. So, how many times do you see people shooting a camera when you're in a public place and you wonder to yourself, what are they doing with that? Am I in that? Am I in the background? It happened to me just yesterday. These young girls were doing sort of selfie stuff and fooling around, and I walked by and I thought, uh-oh, did I just happen upon some weird little episode that's going to go viral somewhere? But here's a case that everyone's been talking about. This thing has gone viral. And it is this supposed strangers on an airplane.
It's boy meet girl 2018 social media style.
Exactly. The thing is, we really don't know that they had a romantic tingling or anything.
Right.
It's two people who end up next to each other on an airplane, and someone with a camera happens to look over, see them having a conversation, apparently getting semi-cozy. It's not even really cozy.
It's in public. They're just
getting
to know each
other.
They're
getting to know. It may not even really have been a get to know each other beyond just we're stuck on an airplane together. Let's have a conversation.
Right.
Anyway.
Which, by the way, my significant other, who does tons of traveling on airplanes, she just gets into her book, her work, and leave me alone.
Me too.
Don't talk.
Me too.
And if I'm traveling with her, I don't talk to her. In fact, I put her on the other side of the aisle. She likes an aisle seat. I like the aisle seat.
We still have to meet. I've never met her after all these
Miss
years.
Donna.
Yes, Miss Donna.
You do have
because we have a lot in common, and that being one of them. When I get on an airplane, I always give off the signal, don't you even dare say anything to me. Don't even say, hey, how's your day going? No, I don't want, because if they say, how is your day going, it
obligates you to actually be cordial and return the conversation.
Once you start talking to them, 2 hours later, you're having a conversation. And
for 2 hours.
For 2 hours. Yeah. For 2 hours now, you're talking about your kids and your job. And, you did that. Oh, guess what? Do you know this person? No, I don't want to do that. When I get on an airplane, it's my time.
Now, Dan.
Yes.
We are different people.
Yes, we are different people.
I start the conversation.
You are that person.
No, I like to talk to strangers and do all the time.
Yes,
I'm very comfortable
do.
Talking to people.
No, I put the headsets on, which says, do not enter.
Yeah. I've actually,
no trespass.
And I will admit,
yes,
I have met a stranger, of the opposite sex, on an airplane and stop right there.
Right. Oh.
No, we talked for the entire time back. It was a long flight back from Europe.
It was a high-flying conversation.
It was not high-flying.
Oh, it wasn't.
There's no sexual undertones to this at all. Sorry to disappoint you all.
Well, you set it up as if something came of this encounter.
As a comparison to what went on here, which again, there was no, as far as we know,
nothing happened.
Nothing happened.
Right, as far as we know.
But
we don't even know that
we saw two humans actually interacting in a social environment,
right?
But not knowing that they were
on the camera.
And that is where we both have an issue.
Exactly. And
in fact, it's against the law. You can't record. Well,
you can.
You can take pictures, but you can't record them.
Without
their permission.
No. You can record it as a private individual. You can record it. You can't do it over a phone.
Oh, you can't share it.
You can share it. Now they can sue you or whatever, but there is nothing that says you can't record someone and do something with it on social media. There is no law against that.
Okay, but
now a news organization, it's different.
All right, okay, I understand.
News organizations, there are certain limits
and
as to you have to.
too, because it's like this call is being recorded. I mean, they have to
that's
tell
different.
you that.
That's over that phone is different than social media. There's someone walking.
It's a recording.
It's different. There are laws that govern two-party consent laws. And that's different. There is no such thing as a two-party consent law on social media.
No.
Now, for businesses, someone can sue you. They can sue you for any reason. If they see something out there on social media they don't like, they can sue you. But in this particular case, it went viral. Hashtag #PlainBay Saga is what this hashtag was that went up.
Back to the story.
Back to the story. So this woman, she's a Texas actress named Rosie Blair, and she's the one with the camera.
I've seen her videos. Oh no, that's not her. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it does sound kind of.
It does.
Actress.
Hey, she's the person causing all this issue too. By the way,
so she captures what appears to be this budding relationship across the aisle, and she starts streaming it. She puts it out live. It's on live.
Live or video? Oh, on Instagram?
I think it went out live initially. Then the video of it, of course, started circulating elsewhere. But during the course of the flight, this couple apparently getting to know each other. They occasionally touched arms. All while, she was live tweeting their every move and thousands eagerly awaiting updates. So she was tweeting it. She was sending it out live. So I say stream, but she was actually tweeting it out.
That's a little different.
Live. Yes, right.
We're live streaming now.
But
right?
but with pictures. She was sending pictures of this couple and couple. I say that in quotes.
And go ahead. Now it says here, taking care not to capture the pair's faces
at
the end.
So she was.
Interesting.
There was a certain level of privacy. Although at some point you do find out who the guy is.
Well, the guy is a former pro soccer player.
Isn't that something?
Ewan Holden. That's right.
That's right. So he and
I
apparently
think it's Ewan Holden.
And because of all, I don't know how you pronounce it.
Ewan.
Ewan. I like that name actually. Yeah. So
you and me, man.
And by the way, she gained like 60,000 Twitter followers during this whole viral thing.
And so did the soccer player.
Yeah, they all got, and he ended up on the Today Show. But the woman. The mystery woman who was with him, underground, which is
does not want anything to do with this.
Exactly.
She is whatever you disconnect your Instagram account,
whatever you turn it off, turn the volume. I don't know.
You sign off, you delete your Twitter account. I mean, she's avoided social media.
So we really don't even know. And I didn't watch the piece on the Today Show. I don't know if he even went into the details of what this all was all about, whether it was just a casual conversation. I think he just enjoys the glory from it. Right, exactly.
Contact.
But, I mean, look, nothing crazy happened on the airplane.
No.
But nonetheless, there was sort of this voyeuristic thing going on.
This love American style. I saw this back in the 70s. I know I did.
Yes.
Two people meet on a plane and they...
Except it stayed there on the airplane.
Correct.
You didn't know about it.
But by the way, that's where my little thing ended on the airplane.
Exactly.
I've never seen that girl again.
But here's the thing. Nowadays, nothing is just a little thing. It can be live, even on an airplane. Now that everybody has internet connection on airplanes, you can be sitting there snoring with your mouth wide open, drool coming out the side of it, and someone could be putting that up live for the world to see.
I'm sorry, if it's an identifiable image of yourself. Do you know when
I would sue if it was me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would.
But when you were a child, didn't you get taught about
which was just yesterday?
Who are you talking to? Personal space,
mommy.
You are just coming back from you are coming back from family vacation. Okay, okay. So we understand personal space.
Yes,
right.
Well, some people did.
Right. So social media is a total invasion of personal space. No matter, and by the way, it's 2018. If you don't think that everything you do isn't on camera when you are outside of your private home, okay?
Everything from street intersection cameras everywhere.
It's everywhere.
Yes,
and you have to be cognizant of that.
You do, but I think what's scary...
Does that take some of our freedoms away?
Well, yes, and that's where I'm going with this. I think that there is a certain level of, when you're on and when you're off kind of thing. If you are putting yourself out there doing something goofy, if you're doing headstands in the town square... If you're Jimmy,
you did mention my hero.
Hello, everybody.
You did mention my hero, Goofy. Okay, I just want to say,
if you're out there being goofy and trying to draw attention to yourself, and then someone captures that and puts it up somewhere, that's fine. If you're just hanging out on an airplane, having a conversation, and next thing you know, it goes viral, and you're ending up. I guess if you're in for it, you end up on the Today Show and all the cable networks are doing stories about this budding romance that was captured by this voyeuristic actress.
And by the way, calling it a romance is not...
Right.
Again, we don't know about that. We know that there was interactive conversation between two consensual adults.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
I don't care what it was. And that's it. That's what...
Right.
But sharing that conversation between two people without their knowledge with the world, I think is a big issue.
So you and I, we both agree on this,
we
right?
We agree on that.
Right.
Right.
But what don't we agree on? I think we agree on this. Just this? Just that part?
I do the handstands out in public with
Goofy,
right.
You know?
I mean, and also we're two
yourself
different types.
Right. You put
I'm
yourself
a guy
out
who
there.
I could care less.
Right.
You know, people want to make fun of me. Awesome. Have at
But what
it.
if
I make them laugh,
what
I'm
if they
thrilled.
did this to you and videotaped you on an airplane with someone and it really isn't a romance, you're just being Jimmy?
Right.
How would you like that if all of a sudden it went viral?
If they would promote Behind the Media with Dan and Jimmy, I would be
So if you
along.
got something
I'd be
out
on
of it,
that.
you'd
As
be
long as I
okay
got
with that.
something out of it, right? And you know what, Dan? You know this about me. You've gotten to know me. I am who I am.
Right.
And if I can get a laugh or a smile out of someone
You're up for
at
that.
my expense, have at it.
Yeah, I'm filing a lawsuit. So, so
I got a lawyer for you.
Taylor Lorenz, who's an internet culture reporter for The Atlantic, was quoted as saying this: "The thread is a gross invasion of privacy." And the thread, not meaning a piece of thread in your clothing,
No.
but the Twitter thread, the conversation, right?
Social
Media conversation that took place here was a gross invasion of privacy. And I think that's what this whole debate comes down to: is when social media captures something like this, is it something cute? Should we all sort of just go along with the cuteness? Oh, isn't that neat? We can watch it. We're peeking through at someone else, or should we be standing up and making noise about it and saying, folks, enough is enough? At some point, you got to respect people's privacy.
I think you do, Dan. I do. And I think there's a time and place for everything. And in that particular place, when you're in public on an airplane, you have to have some semblance of private conversation.
Right. Without the world.
That's exactly right. This is really Taylor Lorenz, in that same, following that Business Insider report. The quote is, "That's one of the biggest problems with social media. It allows you to exploit the world and people around you to get attention for your own benefit. Everyone is just using each other for content. It encourages you to look at the world that way."
Wow, that's powerful. Everyone is
powerful.
just using each other for content. Content used to be just something that we did in the media. We made
That's
content.
right, we made content.
Now we're talking about people are using each other for content?
But isn't that citizen journalism? And by the way, it's gray, shady journalism, but it's
It is
storytelling.
Slim shady.
It's sneaky.
Sneaky? Isn't it sneaky?
It's sneaky. It's not kind.
It isn't. And I'm
yet,
glad the soccer guy is playing along with it. I'm glad the woman, whoever she is staying on the ground somewhere.
Right. Good for her. By the
yeah.
way.
I mean, if you don't like it, go away. But I do think that people need to beware that even when you are in a place that you think you're not being videotaped, you should turn around if you're having a conversation and say, "Hey, turn that thing off," or
I
"Stop
hope no
looking at
one's
me."
recording this.
Or for the record,
I hope you are, and you'll share it with me.
Yeah. Well, maybe what we need to start doing, you get on an airplane, you sit
Right.
down, you make an announcement, say, by the way, anyone around here, if you capture anything, I'm saying right now, you cannot put it out there. If you do, there will be a lawsuit. And you just sort of or you wear some kind of a sign on your T-shirt that says,
I don't want to be talked to. Leave me
I don't want to be talked to. I don't want to be talked about. I don't want to be tweeted out. I don't want to be live streamed. And if you do, here is my lawyer's email address. He will be getting in contact with you, so be aware.
Should
or beware.
Everyone expect to be recorded and documented at all times? Is that a question that's becoming more and more relevant?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
And isn't that sad?
Yeah, no, I think. Well, it's.
Unless you're
free
Jimmy.
society.
If it's not sad, then.
Right. Well, again, I mean, we kid about that. And I mean, Lord knows if I was to say something that I wouldn't want to share with the public. And I'm not quite sure I do that too often, to be honest.
Really?
I'm very careful about what comes out of my mouth when I'm being recorded.
Oh, you are, Mr. Jimmy. Stephen over there, Director Stephen is shaking his head, wondering where does this truth lie in that statement. Anyway, no, you're right. Everyone needs to beware.
It should be a 10 Commandments of 2018 technology.
Exactly.
I think we should do that.
You know what?
We should come up with the 10
Commandments of
social media privacy. Next week.
Next week.
We will do that. In fact, we'll solicit your suggestions.
That's right.
At info@littleparkmedia.com.
That's right. We're going to put together 10 commandments. Thou shalt not, and one of them, videotape me when on an airplane.
Fair enough.
Okay. If you like this episode, let us know. Also, tell us what your commandment would be in the social media craziness that's going on in the world right now. So anyway, reach out to us at info@littleparkmedia.com. You can also engage with us at Behind the Media hashtag on Twitter. Also check us out at littleparkmedia.com. Okay, Jimmy, the bell.
Thanks for that reminder, Q, because I'm not working off a script
today.
Oh,
of course not. You're flying blind.
I am flying blind.
How did
I'm flying by the seat of my Mack Weldons, I might add.
Very good, Jimmy. How did a reality TV star turn her fame into fortune? Hello, everybody. Welcome to this episode of Behind the Media. I'm Dan Lothian.
And I'm Jimmy Young.
We find the interesting in media so you don't have to go searching around for it under your bed or in the back of the couch. Like us on Facebook. Use the hashtag Behind the Media to engage with us on Twitter and listen on iTunes and the CLNS Media Network. Today's episode is powered by Mack Weldon. It's a premium men's essentials brand that Jimmy wears twice a week. For 20% off your first order, visit MackWeldon.com and enter promo code CLNS at checkout 2 or 3 times a week. We're also powered by Little Park Media, where ideas come to life, producing corporate videos and podcasts to tell your story. For more, check us out at littleparkmedia.com or contact info@littleparkmedia.com. So this reality star is poised to become the youngest self-made billionaire ever. Now, you could throw out a lot of names in technology world and so forth that you think might be this person we're talking about.
How about even cosmetic companies that even I recognized, Estee Lauder and Chanel
this is a little 20-something-year-old, 20, about to be 21, slapped on some lipstick and made millions poured in.
It's been a long time since I was 20 or 21, I just want to say. So, and I never wore makeup, when I was on television at age 23,
always wore makeup.
I had to wear makeup.
Yes, you had to. Anyway, we're talking about Kylie Jenner. She's the 20-year-old.
By the way, I'll admit.
Yes. Did you not know
until this day.
Oh, come on. You didn't know. You said you didn't know who Kylie was?
I had no idea who she was.
Okay, look.
I told you, I'm painfully unhip in a lot of ways.
I
haven't watched a minute of reality television in my life.
Jimmy. The Kardashian show.
I know who the Kardashians are.
You know who that? Okay, so I don't care about that show at all, right? I dislike it. Crazy. People are obsessed about it. But when the show first either went on the air or started becoming popular, just the same way you slow down when you see a car wreck.
Curiosity killed the cat.
It did kill the cat. Yes. So I had to tune in to watch what this was all about. Yeah, now, after a while, I realized it was a shtick or whatever. So from time to time, early on, I tuned in just to get a sense of what this phenomena was all about. How could a woman who had a large posterior and a homemade sex video parlay that? That's how this all started. How can all that be parlayed into
certainly
this?
Know the story.
Okay, how could that be parlayed into what we're talking about now?
Yes.
And that is the youngest of the clan, who is now supposedly about to become the richest. Yeah. I would have said that Kim Kardashian was the wealthiest of all of them.
I was surprised.
But she's a mere 300 millionaire.
Yeah, but I was surprised that this youngest one was the most successful. But reading about what she's done,
it makes sense.
Absolutely.
She took the fame from social media.
She also learned how to utilize social media through YouTube and how to do these cosmetics and what people are into. So there was definitely some personal research she did before she got into this business. And
Right.
I don't take anything away from an entrepreneur. I give her a lot of credit for that.
I do. But again, it shows that when you have a following, a dedicated following, then
So this is Twitter.
or it could be Twitter, whatever it is.
Twitter's fault.
You have people that that tune in to find out what you're doing with your life. If you put something out there, a product, they're going to go for it. And in this, I didn't even know, first of all, because I only tuned in the early days of this and didn't continue to tune in. I did not realize that she had this company. Now, again, this company has only been around for 3 years.
Right. It's pretty amazing. She's what, 20?
She's 20 years old.
20 years old, and she started when she was 17.
Right. So in 2015 is when she launches this company.
Did you have a lemonade stand
I
as a
did
kid?
have a lemonade. I also had a bike shop.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So you were
I
providing a service.
I didn't make billions off of my
No,
bike
but you
shop.
were providing a service.
I was.
And I was selling comic books on the streets of Newton.
Well,
By the way, these were 12-cent comic books that I was
If
selling
only
for a
we were
dime.
selling
I was
lipstick.
trying to. It was still a loss. It gives you an idea of why I've never been successful as a business guy.
you know what, though? I think that she could be selling comic books or having a lawn service.
What does this say
and she
about
would
us?
still make $1 billion.
So the American people, we love celebrity. I think this
Yes, we
goes
do.
to why you know who is where he is.
Yes.
We are fascinated with celebrity and what they do and what goes on behind the scenes.
Right.
And
And that's what feeds this.
This is what feeds.
But you know what else, though, Jimmy? It's the younger. She has probably a very young tween following, right?
She's taking advantage of the video generation.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
And she was very smart in what she put out. Her first product that she put out was this $29 Kylie lip kit.
Yeah, I got that.
A liquid lipstick with a matching lip pencil. Check this out. It sold out in minutes. Within 18 months, the company had made $420 million.
Good for her.
This is ridiculous
no,
money.
this is but this is the American dream.
It
This
is.
is
And
the
guess
way
what?
it is.
And
It
she
works in
owns
this country.
100% of this company.
I love that.
Apparently, her dividends are like $60 million a year is what she's getting.
I don't
that
know
she's
how she
throwing
lives
off
on
of it.
that.
Now she's
She
also
does donate some stuff back. I did read that about $1 million.
That's like us giving a penny
I know.
to the Salvation
That's
Army
right.
kettle.
Exactly right.
But anyway, she has money from elsewhere, obviously from the TV show, from all sorts of. I guess she has an app as well where people can watch everything she does, makes money off of that. She has some co-branding with some companies and so forth. Now there are critics out. Well, there are lots of critics about the whole Kardashian folks.
But we are fascinated with celebrity in this country. It's one of the reasons why the paparazzi exist.
Exactly.
It's one of the
No,
reasons.
you're right.
And now with citizen journalism and everybody walking around with a camera in the back pocket, they
They
want
all
to get
can
that
do it.
picture.
Now they do.
And
exactly.
because they want their 10 seconds of fame or their $100 that they get for sending in their video to a news service.
But what's great is they had their 10 seconds and they turned that into 10 hours, and now they've turned it into $1 billion.
Yeah.
And I think it's fascinating. Now, some critics are saying, well, this isn't the real self-made kind of thing because she comes from a wealthy family. You know what? You can't take. There are a lot of people
She
who
went
come
from
from wealthy.
zero-
Right. It wasn't her money. It doesn't
That's right.
matter. There are a lot of people who
Right.
come from wealthy families who are broke. And so the
That's
fact
right.
is that she tapped into the following that she had. She put it at a price point, $29. If I needed lipstick, I would have bought the lip kit.
I didn't even know what what was it, a lipstick
A lip
pencil?
kit.
Pencil.
A lip kit. It's a liquid lipstick with a matching lip pencil.
Lip
you
pencil.
I think you do the edges with it, right? You do.
A lip
I thought you did that
Does
on
it come
Friday
with an
nights when you went
eraser?
out.
I mean, I don't get it.
No, it's a lip. It's a pencil.
right,
You
well,
know,
I don't-
the color pencils, and they do things with
I
it.
will admit,
Women
I know
do
what
that.
an eyebrow pencil is.
Right? Isn't it the same thing?
I don't know.
I'll have to
one
ask
is an
my wife
eyebrow
about
and
that.
one is a lip. That I know the difference.
You know. Well, I think. Look, I think it's wonderful that someone can use media to this level.
I think it's a
If
sad
only I could do
commentary.
it. Well,
Dan,
it
I
is.
think it's
You know
a
what?
sad
It is
commentary on where we are right
it is
now
not
as a society.
It is not a sad commentary in that she really is offering a product. I have a harder time with some of these celebrities who just make money off of the fact that they're celebrities. There's nothing about them. They don't have products. They don't have companies. It's just, hey, I'm a celebrity. Tune in, watch me, and make money.
Right.
She has that as well.
Yep.
But there's a real. After this lip product, the lip kit pencil thing we're talking about, they came out with others.
Yep.
So there's a real makeup company here, and I don't have a problem with that. Now, do I care about the Kardashian show? No, I don't care about it. But I think a 20-year-old who can come up with a $29 idea and turn it into $1 billion enterprise, she'd get props from me.
And you know what? One of her smartest business tools or whatever strategies.
No, what is it?
only create a limited number of products so you can run out. So people feel
want
like
more.
I missed out. I'm going to get the next one.
It's like Chick-fil-A. They don't put them on every corner, so you have that. Oh, I need to have the next one, and you got to drive far for it. So it increases that desire to have another waffle fry.
Another place I've never gone. I might have.
Jimmy, you need to get out more often.
I get out plenty, thank you.
You just go to the wrong places.
No, I don't. Thank you.
They go to the Jimmy Wright places.
That's right. Just where I happens to be going. Let's just say. All right. I went on a great boat ride last night.
Oh, you
in
did?
Boston.
You've been going on a lot of boat rides.
Yeah, well, the first one had rain on it, so they gave me a
so you
rain
have a rain check.
So two. I got a two for nothing.
Oh,
networking after work, and what a beautiful night.
Well, you know what I got free the other day? Not a free boat ride, but
Yeah.
I went to go get a soft serve ice cream, and the machine was broken, so they gave me another ice cream and then gave me my money back.
Wow.
It's good luck when that stuff happens to you.
Yeah.
So I'll pass it forward to someone.
What does this
Someday
have
I'll
to do
give
with
someone
it?
an ice cream
Okay.
cone. If you like this episode, let us know. Like us on Facebook. Use the hashtag Behind the Media to engage with us on Twitter. Have any questions or comments? Reach out to us at info@littlepartmedia.com. That's info@littlepartmedia.com. Okay, it's halftime, and this show is powered by Mack Weldon. It's a premium men's essential brand, as Jimmy has been talking about, that he wears not twice, but 3 times a week.
It's on a rotation.
It's on a rotation.
7 days in the week.
And your testimonial still holding up well?
Absolutely. In fact, this morning, I purposely went through a few pair until I spotted that Mack Weldon waistband.
Is it because you knew you were going to be on the show and you wanted to make sure that you had it here?
Yes.
I thought it was just you just woke up with the Mack Weldon feeling.
No, did not. And I'm happy I've got them on.
Really?
Yes.
And what is it about? Is it the elasticity of the
I think it's the combination, the fabric.
Breathable.
It's a breathable fabric. I don't sweat as much in it.
Oh, sweat.
If you really want to know.
And
I do not sweat so much in it. It works.
I don't think you've ever done that. You've never done the New York Jewish mother
I can do that
accent.
Oh,
That's the first.
No.
In a year
I have
of our
never done
podcast,
that.
I don't think you've ever done that.
I know I don't like stereotypes.
Oh, that's funny. They finally came. That was a good one.
No, you haven't ever heard my Jewish Altacaca accent?
No, I have not.
My God, you got to hear it sometime. It's a funny thing I do. It's easy to imitate these people. I've been around these people my whole life.
It took more than a year of the podcast for that to finally come out. So someday, I've dropped my Jamaican accent before. So
yeah, man, I get that too, man. Come on.
Now you know what happens when you wear a pair of Mack Weldons. And whatever you are wearing right now, Mack Weldon is much better. Mack Weldon believes in smart designs, premium fabrics, and simple shopping. It's the winning formula. Mack Weldon will be the most comfortable underwear, socks, shirts, undershirts, hoodies, and sweatpants you've ever placed on your body. So get on board with the people who know. For 20% off your first order, visit MackWeldon.com and enter promo code CLNS at checkout. This show is also powered by Little Part Media, where ideas come to life, producing corporate videos and podcasts to tell your story. For more, check out littlepartmedia.com or contact info@littlepartmedia.com.
And you know, I like Mack Weldon's customer service group too.
And that's the most important thing.
I think so too. And the Little Park Media customer service group is pretty good too. The whole staff.
The whole staff. They always help you out. Okay. Trump continues his media bashing with CNN's Jim Acosta. Hello, everybody. You know this is going to be an animated podcast. I'm Dan Lothian, and this is Behind the Media. And you are?
Jimmy Young.
And we find the interesting in media so you don't have to go searching for it. Like us on Facebook, use the hashtag Behind the Media to engage with us on Twitter, and listen on iTunes and the CLNS Media Network. Today's episode is powered by Mack Weldon. It's a premium men's essentials brand. For 20% off your first order, visit MackWeldon.com and enter promo code CLNS at checkout. We're also powered by Little Part Media, where ideas come to life, producing corporate videos and podcasts to tell your story. For more, check out littlepartmedia.com or contact info@littlepartmedia.com.
And our customer service department will get right back.
Back to you. Right. Jim Acosta and Donald Trump have been at each other for quite some time. Jim Acosta stands up. He gets slapped down. It happened early in the administration. It happened again as the president's overseas doing his grand tour of whatever.
Pissing more people off around the world.
Exactly.
He didn't piss off enough people in this country, so he decided to go to England.
Exactly. So
I love the blimp, by the way.
Yes, you do like that.
I want to take a pin to it.
So he's having a joint press conference with the Prime Minister of England, Theresa May, and CNN's Jim Acosta calls out a question as the president was calling on Fox News' John Roberts, and he couldn't resist. He didn't like the fact that Jim Acosta was interrupting because, Jim Acosta, he's a showman. He likes to interrupt. He likes to poke and prod. I don't necessarily agree with his style, but at the same time, I don't agree with what the president always does. And he says, CNN is fake news. I don't take questions from CNN. That's what the president said. And so he continued going towards John Roberts to go ahead. He says, let's go to a real network, referring to Fox. And that's when Acosta replies, quote, we're a real network too, sir. But his question went unanswered. Now, first of all, let's talk about that. Let's let that kind of percolate a little bit. What does that get onto your skin when the president goes after, again, singling out, acting so unpresidential to single out a network as fake news?
I don't know who's more annoying in a press conference.
Really?
Bill Belichick or President Trump?
I thought you were going to go Jim Acosta or President Trump.
Nope. Let's face it. We're on to Cincinnati.
Yes.
I mean, he could learn. Trump could learn from Belichick.
He could.
Because he doesn't say anything even though his lips move and words come out.
And Trump says too much.
And way too much. But they're polar opposites in that way.
Yeah, exactly. But this thing is getting a little too old, okay? CNN, you're fake news.
Oh, by the way, anytime you'd like to get rid of this guy, I got no problem with that. If you're tired of President Trump, by all means, let's get him out of there, okay? Because...
But I just think that, at some point, you're the president of the United States, the most powerful country.
He doesn't give a damn who he is.
And
he doesn't.
Just, answer the stinking question or say, you know what, I'm talking I'll come back to you, or however you do it. Why does he always have to go there?
Because he's not the president of the United States.
Well, he's
voted
Donald
the president. Trump.
He was voted
but
the
in
president.
his brain,
yes.
He's not the president. He's still Donald Trump.
And so that's how Donald Trump would have acted
exactly right.
before Donald Trump became president.
He has not changed a bit.
No, he hasn't.
And that's a big problem.
Well, one thing you have to say
is pissing everybody off.
He's pissing everybody off.
Jesus.
That's the one thing I can say that everyone, if you believe this before, you are completely correct. And he has stood by exactly who he is. Like everybody thought, once he gets elected, he's going to become more conventional and that kind of thing.
We hope that he will embrace the position.
If you agree with his style, he is as authentic today as he was when he started running for president.
That would be an arrogant, narcissist
bully. However you want to describe it, he is authentic,
good,
right? He's
arrogant,
not
narcissist bully. I don't know if I have to go be racist. I could throw that in there.
He's not being influenced or pushed around by any political kind of system that's out there. No, he does. He's ignoring it and saying, you know what? I don't care about tradition.
Does that make him a dictator?
No,
because a lot of people think that this is what he likes, and he likes the royals too. He wants to be King Trump. I
think he is. If he's a dictator now, he was a dictator before. Right. Whatever it is, Donald Trump hasn't changed. We aren't seeing some new Donald Trump, and so when he takes it out on Jim Acosta, it's the way that he used to go after people he didn't like in the media, even before he became president.
So let's go behind the media.
Yeah, so
you've been in that position before. You've been a White House correspondent.
Yes, I have.
Under another administration.
Exactly.
And
under two other administrations.
That's right, and where a network like Fox,
right,
okay, was always, I don't know, I don't want to call them second.
No, but under the Obama administration, some of the same kind of treatment, maybe not so overtly, but some of the same kinds of things that we see happening pointed at CNN happened to Fox, where Fox wasn't invited to certain things and so forth.
And you were at press conferences as a White House correspondent where your peeps came to the defense of the Fox peeps.
Right. Anytime there was anything that wasn't open to the Fox crews or to Fox reporters, then I know, and it didn't happen all the time, but there was at least one incident I know of where I said, I'm not going to participate if Fox isn't allowed to. I mean, I think, if you do believe in an open press system, then you shouldn't, just because it's not happening to you, doesn't mean you should sort of sit back and fold your hands and say, well, I'm okay, so screw them. No. Right. And I think that's now why you're hearing some of reporters out there, including CNN's Jake Tapper, coming down very hard on John Roberts, who, by the way, at one point I think used to be CBS. He was in line to take over after Dan Rather. He didn't get that job, and I think his career started going downhill from there. But anyway, everyone. There are some journalists out there who are saying, John Roberts, what happened to your backbone? Because as this whole thing was going on between the president and John Roberts, he just sat there and let them duke it out and then proceeded to ask his question without first saying, and what I would have done in a situation like this is, Mr. President, I just want to say that CNN is a news organization just like everybody else.
Deserves respect.
And deserves respect. Now to my question. Or something like that. Or whatever. He didn't address it. And that's why he's being called out, and I think rightly so.
So let me ask you a question. Does that make Fox more of a state-run news agency than anything else?
Well,
now?
some may argue that, right? I mean, the president says, I think then it's like that's the real network.
Yeah.
That's who he goes and gives interviews to all the time. But I think the issue is one more of sort of your personal responsibility as a journalist. If, in fact, even it doesn't matter who you work for. And he didn't even have to say, oh, I support CNN's right to ask a question or whatever. Just say generally, you know what, we're all here as journalists covering you, Mr. President. Something as simple as that. You don't even have to say, respect CNN, nothing like that. Just say we're all journalists, we're here covering you, and that deserves some respect. And he did not do that.
No, he did not. And he missed an opportunity.
He did.
It's, you know what? I hope he makes up for it some way, somehow, but I don't think he will, because I think it goes to the fact that there's this environment out there right now where people are just emboldened to be who they are and not give a damn about the people around them.
But that's sad. I like John Roberts. I know him quite well.
It is sad. I'm not saying
I
it's
used
not
to work
sad.
with his wife as well at CNN, Kira Phillips. I covered the White House with him, traveled with him as well. A respectable guy. And I just maybe, look, in the heat of the moment, sometimes you say, you know what, I'm going to stay out of this and let them duke it out.
Right.
And you don't think the way that maybe in hindsight, and it'd be interesting to hear his reaction. I haven't seen any reaction from him. He may have said, look, when you're in the moment right there, you're trying to think about the question that you're about to ask. And I will give him that, because when you're standing there and the president calls on you, you're trying to make sure that the question you're about to ask is framed the right way. You want to say it in order to get the kind of answer that you're looking for, something that's original and not talking points. And so maybe that's what it was, that his focus was on that, and he didn't even stop to think about, I need to defend somebody else.
Or that it's happened so often now that he just feels like, here we go again.
That you're right. And that could be it. But I still think if we're going to do
it was a swing and a miss for the world of journalism. Yeah,
that's nicely put. It was an opportunity for him to say something that says, we're all journalists here together. We all deserve respect. We're all doing our job. We're not just here doing this because we hate you or we like you. We're here doing our job, and we deserve respect. And I thought that was a lost opportunity. And Jake Tapper said, Jake Tapper from CNN, one of my former colleagues, said, quote, old enough to remember when other networks came to the defense of Fox News White House correspondents during the Obama years, such did not happen here. Lesson for the kids out there: no one should ever try to do the right thing with the expectation it will ever be reciprocated.
Not just a lesson for kids.
Right, for everybody. Wow.
That's for all of us, right?
For all of us.
Yes.
So, I wish this would all just stop. I wish,
it'll stop.
I never expected.
I'm going to tell you when it's going to stop.
Well, when?
When he's gone.
I'm
sorry. That's when it's going to stop.
Look,
then the next person who takes over, because eventually, thankfully, there will be a next person.
There will be a next person,
okay?
yeah.
And I might live long enough to see it.
Yeah.
That person will be doing damage control for the majority of the time that he or she is in office.
Well,
sorry, that's what. Think of all the breaks and all the people, all the groups that he's pissed off.
Well, I just think as journalists, it's a difficult job. And people, there's people who still come up to me and say from my days at CNN, oh, that's this network or whatever. They don't realize how much work goes into covering a president. It's a really, really tough job. And so, you can disagree about a particular network's leaning or whatever you perceive that to be, but stop attacking the journalists. And you may not even like Jim Acosta, and I've heard that. And there are times I don't like him,
Mm-hmm.
But I think that you have to respect the job that each one is doing. And at a very basic level, let's not go to that low place every time, because it's getting a little tiring. It's getting old.
I agree.
If you believe that's the case, or if you didn't, let us know.
We agree a lot.
That's right.
But we disagreed on a few things today.
We do. Like us on Facebook. Use the hashtag Behind the Media to engage with us on Twitter. Have any questions or comments, reach out to us at info@littlepartmedia.com. That's info@littlepartmedia.com. Okay, are you ready to consume some bites behind the media? For those who can't eat the whole meal, we're serving up just a few delicious pieces. Welcome to this episode of Behind the Media. I'm Dan Lothian.
And I'm Jimmy Young.
We find the interesting in media so you don't have to go searching for it. Like us on Facebook, use the hashtag Behind the Media to engage with us on Twitter. And listen on iTunes and the CLNS Media Network. Today's episode is powered by Mack Weldon. It's a premium men's essentials brand. For 20% off your first order, visit MackWeldon.com and enter promo code CLNS at checkout. We're also powered by Little Part Media, where ideas come to life, producing corporate videos and podcasts to tell your story. For more, check out littlepartmedia.com or contact info@littlepartmedia.com. Okay, Jimmy, this is where we get to do just kind of a mashup of all kinds of interesting stories. Megyn Kelly returning to prime time. I thought she was dead.
Yeah,
not
she was
dead
not
as in
dead.
Physically dead.
She
but
was at 9 a.m. Wasn't she? Had followed the Today Show? Wasn't that her thing?
But I thought in prime time, like she had done some things in prime time, and a couple of them initially had been okay, but then she'd been panned for some of the interviews. I think the Putin interview that she did, and got a little tired, and she disappeared from prime time.
Doesn't that happen sometimes with journalists and broadcasters when they have an oops moment,
yes,
if you will?
They go into
I think we could name
Siberia.
A few.
Yes.
I think we could name a few.
More than a few.
That's right, off the
That's
top of
right.
our head. And in fact, here in the Boston market, I actually heard a voice I hadn't heard in quite a while on the radio.
Oh, no, Jimmy,
this
don't
morning.
tell me. Are you hearing voices now, Jimmy?
Yeah, I've been hearing voices for a long time.
Oh, no.
But it's on the radio. I hear them on this case.
What was it?
Alex Reamer.
Oh,
on
really?
WEI this
So
morning.
give us a little context about
Alex
that.
is a young man who I worked with when he was 15 years old. He's now 24 or 5, a graduate of Boston University. He had a little oops moment. We were talking about oops moments in the media.
Yeah. He ran into a very powerful quarterback.
Yes, his name was Tom Brady. He dissed on Tom Brady's kid, a 5-year-old, on an observation of the behavior of a 5-year-old on the Tom versus Time series that was on Facebook. And his comment put his employer, WEI, in a very difficult position.
And why is that?
Because Tom Brady is paid to come on that radio station to do an interview every Friday after he plays.
Right. And all his colleagues threw him under the bus.
All of Alex's comrade, and well, it's interesting. They threw him under the bus, but they also found that that story was a national news story. It made the national news,
and it did not deserve to make.
It did not deserve to make the national. And Alex didn't deserve.
He did not deserve the
he did
death.
not.
Well,
and I
near death penalty.
As I actually tweeted him. No, I didn't. What did I do? I texted him because I don't tweet. I texted him.
I'm like, what, Jimmy? That was the first time.
By the way, I asked him to come on this show, and
he
he's
said,
declined.
Yeah.
Actually,
he called us a bunch of piss ants.
No, yeah, really, no comment. He's a 24-year-old. He's never been around a 5-year-old. He doesn't have a little sister. He has a little brother.
Right.
Okay. And actually, I don't think either one of them's too little anymore. He was an athlete. The other kid was an athlete.
I think I probably said the same thing when I was young.
About
like I get on an
about
airplane
the
and some
behavior
kid
of a
is
young
whining
man, a little kid again.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, and you have them yourself.
Yeah, then you call them that.
Then you realize.
Multiple times.
No, then you come to the defense of your child if anybody mentions even
somebody else
something else.
Yes,
right.
But you can do that.
Right.
Not anybody else.
Right, and he did,
right.
But he was back, and I give him a lot of look. I give WEI a lot of credit. They put him in the doghouse for a while, and the penalty box and the timeout. And I guess they were, this is summer relief time. So
he's brought back to life.
Correct.
So Megyn Kelly, she didn't go away. And
by the way, this morning,
and
we'll get back to Megyn Kelly, I promise. Right?
Okay.
This morning, they're sitting there and they're critiquing the play-by-play voice of the Boston Red Sox on television, Dave O'Brien, who I happen to think is one of the best now in the business.
Right.
He grew up in Quincy. He's got a great set of pipes like yourself, Mr. Lothian.
Oh, thank you.
And in this particular case, there was an exciting moment in last night's Red Sox game that involved Mookie Betts hitting a grand slam home run.
Ooh, did they win?
Yes, they won.
Okay.
They've won 10 straight, I might add.
Really?
They're the hottest team in baseball.
Man, the last
again,
time I
and
paid
they have the
attention,
best
they
record
weren't
in
winning.
baseball, and people in this town still don't give them any credit.
Yeah,
I was amazed. I was out at a dinner. I was at a restaurant.
You were out at one of those places.
I was at a restaurant last night. Everybody's watching the game silently up on the wall kind of a thing. And then you hear this incredible cheer, right? And, of course, if people aren't watching the game and seeing the incredible
until they hear the
cheer. And I knew that the bases were loaded, and it was a 1-2 count when he started, and he got it up to 3-2. He fouled off like 12 pitches. And then you talk about drama and baseball, and I know it's slow.
It's slow.
Okay.
Boring slow.
And
but
they're
name
losing
Mookie
a
Betts
young
is pretty
demographic.
Cool. I like the name Mookie Betts. I want to be called Mookie Betts.
His real name.
What's his real name?
Marcus.
Really?
Which is actually a really
I didn't
cool
know that.
name.
I like Mookie. Call me Mookie Lothian.
Mookie's cool.
Yeah, Mookie. Hey,
Anyway,
Mookie Lothian.
I digress. But
Yes.
when
How did we get here?
sports talk
Yes.
show hosts
Yes.
say, "Oh, I could do that job," play-by-play.
Play-by-play is a difficult job.
Very difficult, and
Especially baseball where it's so slow. You got to
and
talk.
hockey is the other side
Where it's
that's
too
so
fast.
fast.
Right.
Exactly right. Those are the two extremes. I always did football and basketball.
I could never. It's amazing because I tried it in college.
Yeah.
And after you say, okay, 32 hands the ball off to whatever,
Right.
and he does a jump shot, now it's a foul.
Okay. Wow.
Okay,
I hope you didn't do that, did you?
Well, it's a reason.
I wasn't sure what sport you were doing. You were blending there. But I just don't
And
like
then it was
it
a goal.
I just, first of all,
It's hard.
talk show hosts,
Yeah.
probably the easiest skill for a broadcaster to sit here and talk.
Yes. Talk.
Okay.
That play-by-play is difficult.
You have to learn
Right.
how to do play-by-play, and
Yes.
you only get good by doing hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands and thousands of games.
And people will sit there and pick apart everything you say, even though it's one of the most difficult jobs.
And when I hear one of my least favorite personalities in the market, Kirk Minahan, I'm going to call him out. He's just not a favorite personality of mine. I don't know him personally at all, but just based on what I hear, starts saying, "Oh, I could do that job."
No.
Good luck. I'd love to try and hear him do a game because it would be horrible to listen to.
Well, anyway, so this segment was
Megyn
about
Kelly.
multiple.
Megyn Kelly.
No,
What,
it just
is she
shows
back on prime
she is
time,
on
I
prime
hear?
time. No,
What
it
does that
just
mean?
shows that when people, even if ratings aren't there, or if you have an oops moment, whatever it may be, there is life.
We
at
love
the
second chances in America.
second chances, third chances, fourth chances.
Yeah, Steve Howe at
Until at some point you do whatever it is, and then there are no more chances.
That's right.
Okay, so you had no idea.
By the way, there's a theme on this show. I don't
I
have
have
a
no
lot of
idea.
ideas about
You don't
anything,
have
do I? But I have comments on everything, don't I?
You do have comments about it. So Gawker.
Gawker.com. Yes, it was a
Gawker.
dormant gossip website, I hear.
It was a dormant. So it was a website. It was one of the most popular. If you wanted to know the buzz about anything going on out there, it was Gawker. You went to Gawker. At one point, they just had millions of people every month, reading their content. And then they get involved in, there were a number of other stumbles along the way, but the biggest one being that there was this lawsuit by Hulk Hogan about a video that had been posted on there of him having an affair or something like that. There was some sex video, I guess it was, right?
All right.
It was something, whatever. The video, he sues them, and they go belly up, basically. Yeah. And so
Hulk won.
Hulk won, yes.
Love the
and
Hulk.
so there was this, which he won. He won quite a bit back in the day.
Quite a bit.
Yes,
That's right.
So it's been sitting there, and there's still a lot of content, old content that's fairly valuable, and so people were wondering what would happen with it. So along comes this guy who's the co-founder of
Bleacher Report.
One
of my favorite
It's
sports
wonderful.
apps.
I remember when that thing started. I'm like, Bleacher Report. What's up with that?
It was very.
And
I liked it.
It's hot.
And
they make lots of videos on Instagram and so forth, really cool things they mix up. And then they end up getting bought by CNN or Turner. And so now this person, he also started another online magazine for women as well.
Bustle?
But what is it?
Bustle.
Bustle. I've never heard of it.
It's
but
a
I'm
website focused on women's issues.
Right.
Back in
I'm sure it's
2014.
going to be sold for billions of dollars or whatever. But this person now has gone and bought Gawker for less than $1.2 million or something like that, and apparently has not stated what he will do with the Gawker properties. He says it's valuable. It's something that he will at some point announce what he plans to do with. But I think it's great. I think
How about live cameras everywhere in the world, and it's like on this street corner and that street corner, New York and Hong Kong.
That's already being done.
And Moscow. It is.
Yeah, my son was watching street corner video from Sweden one time. Live. Yes, you could watch it. It's dark there, and when it's light here, we used to it was fascinating to watch.
What's happening in Stuttgart now? Right.
Anywhere you want to watch, if they have cameras there, you just go to the app and you could open it up and watch street cam videos. It was great. So anyway, so we'll see. Maybe Gawker.
A true Gawker.
Oh, is that the reason?
That's why I said it'd be a Gawker. Get
It took me a long time to get that.
Well,
I'm glad I finally caught on.
Get down to my level there.
Woo. Anyway,
That's low.
You got anything else there, Jimmy? What else do you got? Anything? What do you think about the cave rescue? That was one other one I wanted to talk about.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Because after all, Good news.
Good news.
And granted, one of the first responders lost his life.
Right. Who was a Navy SEAL.
A trained. By the way,
SEAL. Right.
how is it that the Thai military
Right.
are called Navy SEAls?
I
don't
thought,
know the answer to that
thought
question.
the Navy SEAL thing was only
a
a
US
U.S. thing.
thing.
So that was learning. You learn
I wonder
something
if
new
it's
every
a
day.
brand, kind of a brand.
I did
thing.
not. What is Stephen,
Any idea,
director over there?
Steve,
Do you
wanna work
know
on that
anything
for us?
about?
Basically, I want to say it's like a certain unit. So
With a certain skill set.
You have a certain skill set branched off of the Navy.
So it's universal to all navies.
Yeah. So
I did not know
Gotcha.
that.
Army, Navy, and then.
I thought it was just
Like,
U.S.
does
Navy.
Does SEAL stand for something like super duper
It does stand for something.
energized?
And Stephen's going to
active-
look it up, and he'll get back to us. By the way, are you on mic, Stephen? Because we like to hear you. Okay. I guess I didn't have you talk now. Can you?
Talking.
There you go.
Did we miss that whole thing?
Yes, we did. Well, no, you can hear it in the background.
Oh, okay.
So you're going to look it up to tell us what SEAL stands for,
SEAL
right?
stand, right. So back to this. The fact that they were able to get live video and you could actually see the kids in the cave.
When they first went in there, like 2-point-something miles underground,
Right.
back to where they were in this pocket.
And to where they had to go and get through and how they did this and how they had to train the kids on how to relax and breathe. They actually
I would have freaked out.
They put a doctor in. They put a doctor in. They gave him some medication to calm
they
them
had
down.
to.
I don't
would
blame
have
them.
been freaking out in that mask
Oh
and all
my
that stuff.
goodness
No.
gracious. It
Okay,
was-
I think Stephen has an answer over there.
Yes.
Okay. So it's Navy's sea, air, and land teams.
See, I know it's
I
the sea,
didn't-
air,
Basically,
and land.
training
team.
for all environments.
all
Sea, air,
environments. There you go.
Oh.
Now we understand.
I don't know that I've ever known that.
That's why
you
Behind
just
the
say
Media exists. We find out.
We
these
find
things.
the interesting in media, so you don't have to go searching for it.
That's what I hear. Anyway, fantastic
Wow.
to be able to actually
And
see.
is Stephen something else?
Basically, a frogman is someone who's trained in scuba diving or swimming underwater. So the SEALs that were doing the cave rescue were possibly frogmen.
Oh wow, interesting.
Not frog people.
No, they could
I had
be frog
to say,
people.
come on, could be frog people.
Frog people.
Frog
But
people.
I did not realize. That was the first thing that when I heard it was a Navy SEAL, I thought, oh, it's a U.S. Navy SEAL was over there.
And
then
of course,
it's like,
you know
no.
who took some credit for that.
Elon Musk.
No.
Who? Elon Musk people were there.
Yes,
His
Elon
engineers
Musk
were
was
part
there
of it.
too,
Yes.
I understand.
Who took credit for it?
POTUS is trying to get his nose.
Oh.
in. Oh no, we're right behind them. Those SEALs are doing a great job. That's our, kind of like
Oh.
we're helping out. They
Yeah.
didn't do. The United States didn't do anything.
No, we didn't. It was their folks. But there were a lot of experts. There was an international cave rescue. There are not that many. There's like one or two
Right,
of those.
exactly.
And they were the ones that were taking the lead on this, along with local authorities.
Yeah, which is
It was
incredible.
amazing to
Yep.
watch the video when they first made contact with these young boys.
Mm-hmm.
And then I didn't watch the live stuff when it was going down, but I went back and just watched. I was just watching the thing from beginning to end.
Did you see
know?
the graphic of
Where
they
they were?
actually were?
No, I
and
did
how
not,
They had to
no.
go underwater for like a mile or two,
No.
and then reemerge. And then,
I read about it.
I mean,
and then I saw the video of them
holy
just. At one
mackerel.
point, they had to take the tank off, and because it was so tight,
Right.
to slide one of the young boys through, and then feed the tank back through, and. It was just, and imagine if you're in a situation. There's an old James Bond movie where he gets wrapped up and buried at sea, and it's in a device that looked much like that.
Yeah.
And I thought, wow, man, claustrophobia would set in with me.
Well, have you ever
like
been
that.
in an MRI tube?
Yeah,
I'm
those
not big on
those are crazy.
I like the open ones.
Yeah,
Thank you very
that's a
much.
little scary. But the thing is that, the guy who we're talking about, the Navy SEAL, I mean, he died. He was taking oxygen canisters to position them along for
Right.
this rescue operation,
Right.
and then he ran out. I don't
Right.
quite get it because I thought, well, just grab one of the ones that you just left.
Yeah.
But maybe he didn't know, and he was in I don't know. Maybe he
Look,
couldn't
it-
find it because the visibility was poor.
Disorientation
Yes.
is understood in that situation.
It is.
The fact that they only lost one person
Right.
is remarkable.
And one is-
and the coach.
if you're-
I'm going to give credit to this
Yes.
25-year-old young man who's a monk, I believe,
I
because he
did
was
not know
teaching
that.
these kids to meditate and to relax, to calm their anxiety, which I think
Wow.
is again. How many 25-year-old youth soccer coaches do you know that would do that and
Yeah.
understand that and that would be a tremendous survival technique in this situation. So
Yeah.
I give him credit. I was glad that he got out safe, and it just, as much as I talk a lot about how a certain person has fed the hateful doctrine that's apparent everywhere in our lives, to hear about a story like this where people can actually band together to save others, young kids specifically.
Yeah.
It's one of those great feel-good stories that the media can tell because they were there.
They were there,
and because a lot of it was in foreign languages, the sound bites and what have you.
So it's the video.
You can't really be biased about subtitles.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's kind of like, okay, I
but
guess
the video
he said
was
this.
the video was so powerful.
So
just
compelling.
watch you just don't watch that stuff that often.
No.
If ever.
Right. Well, the miners was also
the miners,
a great story, too.
but this was a little different in that they're sliding it out on the water, and they've got the tanks, and they've got
Let's think about it. They went in on an excursion. Let's go explore the caves. They were in the wrong place at the wrong time when the
water, the monsoon. Yeah. You know what? Sorry.
And God works in amazing ways.
Yes,
because he or she, whoever the supreme being and whoever controls Mother Nature up there. Okay,
that would be God.
That's what I think.
At
all
least
right,
I
but try not
so.
to give him a gender because after all, So he created this situation and then allowed the human to actually get them out of that situation.
No, it was great,
and that's amazing.
Now, have you ever done any caving, spelunking? So
not true. So I'm trying to think if I've ever been in a cave.
Man, I've been a mile deep into a cave.
I'm not a guy who likes to go on hikes.
I'm glad. You
like
to talk to people. So
my ideal of camping is a 3-star hotel.
There you go. Yes, not a negative 5-star, cave.
No.
So we went to Victoria Island up in Vancouver, and we went spelunking. And you actually go so deep into the ground where there's zero light, and then you turn off your headlamp, and I think I've talked about this before, where you move your hand in front of your face long enough, and eventually you see your hand, even though you really don't see your hand. Your brain knows your hand is there.
Yeah, it's like the sonar
and it starts drawing your hand because it knows your hand is there, and it wants to see it so badly. So I remember being in there, and I didn't think about flooding. But I did think that I could get trapped underground. Like that was in my mind the whole time until I came out of there. I was thinking more earthquake, that there would be the mother of all earthquakes, and we would be trapped down there.
Right.
That would
getting
be buried
alive is
that
not
would be
one
the
of those
scariest
ways
way
to go.
No. Run me over with a car,
Please.
but don't let me get buried alive.
I'm with you on that.
No. Okay, well, I'm glad we ended with a positive story.
It absolutely was a great
the rescue
story.
of those young
and the
boys.
media did a good job. Can we finally say something, please? Because
and the world was celebrating.
Yes.
And not only just for World Cup soccer, but for
by the way, you want to make a pick? Because after
Croatia.
all, one of us is going to be right.
Croatia.
Well, I can't pick France because I hate the French.
Well, you like French fries, don't you?
No, I don't. I don't like anything fried.
Oh, no.
I try to avoid. That's one of those things that's easy to avoid.
I'm not just a come lately with Croatia.
Why? Go ahead.
Okay.
Tell me your reason and why I'm going to be rooting for Croatia, too.
Back when I co-founded Heart Beings, the engineer for our website was a Croatian, and he lived out of Croatia. That's where he lived. The designer, so not just the engineer of the site, but the designer of the site, he was German, who also lived in Croatia. And so I would often Skype to Croatia. So I have this deep connection.
Got some croats. Some croats.
No, that's what I put on my salad. Those are croutons, I know. But yeah, so that's when I heard Croatia. I didn't even know they had a soccer team. But when I heard Croatia, I thought, I'm rooting for Croatia.
It's the second smallest nation to make a World Cup final.
And what's the first?
I knew you were going to ask.
I actually knew the answer to the first.
Is it Uruguay?
Because
they have one.
Okay, maybe it's Uruguay.
Yeah. But anyway, let me just quickly.
I've
I've
been to Uruguay.
That's very cool. I have not.
Yeah, when I was visiting Argentina, I went across there on a boat. It was fun.
When I think all these teams, I think of players from each country that I remember. And as you know, I'm an absolute soccer fanatic.
Yes, you are.
I did go to Boston on Tuesday.
Yes.
And set up shop at a sports bar, Champions. I'll give them a plug. By the way, not a great place to watch a sports event because they get those squares on the big TV, and it's annoying.
It's hard, yes.
It's annoying. So I watched one of the smaller bar monitors. Anyway, I run into a Belgian national teacher. He teaches Dutch to Belgium kids and is fluent in English, so he was able to talk to me.
Trilingual.
And so I said, hey, I'm pulling for Belgium in this one, too. But just for the record, I started, my favorite soccer team is the United States national team.
Yeah, but they weren't even there.
I understand.
Scratch.
So my second favorite team is Brazil.
Yes.
They made it all the way, and then they got beat by Belgium. So I said, okay, I want Belgium to win next.
Yeah, no.
Right? And then England is always my third best.
Because
I got
laid
taught
a big,
English.
Giant egg.
And they really
they laid an egg in the second half or whatever it is.
They definitely let up. I think
they let up. They started off okay, and then
I
they
give
laid
Croatia all the credit in the world because they have now played 3 120-minute games of soccer.
Right.
Within 2 weeks. And now they're going to play in the biggest game on Sunday. And the fact that they have any energy left at all will be amazing.
But they've already won just by getting there.
Correct, but they've never, if you notice on the World Cup uniforms, they have stars over the, so like France has one.
Yeah, but they don't have any stars. They have moon. They have a moon.
Croatia has no stars because they haven't won a World Cup. So I'd like to see a first-time winner of the World Cup. There is truly an underdog and
I like
favorite.
the underdog story.
France is definitely the favorite. They've got this kid, Mbappe, this 19-year-old magician with the ball, and he is fun to watch, even though he's playing for France. But I am going to pull for Croatia.
Yeah. Okay. So 2 of us.
Yes.
And we'll talk a little bit
both
about
be
that.
wrong on next Friday.
We'll be right. Thanks for listening and enjoying this podcast, because we know you did. You always tell us that. Like it, share it, keep listening on iTunes and the CLNS Media Network. For our director, Steve Helmuth, and our producer and social media guru, Alex Barth, I'm Dan Lothian.
And I'm Jimmy Young.
And now you know what's behind the media.